Hello and welcome to my first devlog for Dungeon. This is a upcoming asset store tool I've been building. Right here I have a little test project I've been working on to show off the tool. It's a little roguelike, Souls-like game using the dungeon generator. Let me start up a run to show off. So yeah, Dungeon basically creates a 2D layout using an algorithm I created, and then generates 3D dungeons using tile sets that you can build as a developer. This one here I threw together with a bunch of textures and props from the asset store. The dungeon gets populated with whatever your game needs, in this case chests and enemies and things like that. It creates a nav mesh on the fly for them to walk around on. The settings files are completely customizable, so as a developer you can choose the kind of how big you want the dungeons to be, how many rooms you want, how they're kind of laid out generally, the styles of branching paths you're going to encounter. You can customize how those settings change between stages. So if you want the dungeons to grow as you kind of get further and further levels, or if you want the tile sets to change, however you want to kind of do it. This one here is like a castle keep sort of thing, but you could build like a forest or a cave or whatever kind of biome makes sense for your game. It's inspired by recent playthrough I did of the Dark Cloud series. Also like the Chalice dungeons from Bloodborne. This project's meant to be a sort of like little roguelike, so you'll open a chest, and first chest will have an item. It's an axe. I can use to fight the zombies here. They'll swing back at me. Things are a little rough around the edges right now, but I'm just getting started. This is about a month and a half of progress. I've been watching a YouTube tutorial series from Sebastian Graves. He's remaking Elden Ring there. This project is more of a roguelike dungeon crawler thing, but I've been learning a lot from his series, so I definitely recommend checking that out. Here's a boss room. Let me run in there and just die to the boss. He's way too overtuned at the moment. So he will definitely kill me, but we'll see what could do a little bit of damage first. So I'll fire up the test scene for checking out the settings for the game. Wrong folder. There we go. So let me fire this up. This lets you preview and save out your settings files for kinds of layouts. So you have things like the size of the dungeon, the room distribution style, the number of rooms, and the different styles of branching. I'll add more settings options as I kind of build them out. But let's kind of do just a sort of standard looking layout. So you can hit preview to see the kinds of layouts you might get. If I decrease the room count, you're going to see more sparse dungeons. If I throw it way up, you're going to get really busy dungeons. These branching styles here are for things like chutes, which are these long, straight hallways. Snakes, which are these kind of zigzaggy sort of ones. Bridges, which are hallways that connect sections of the map together, and cranks, which are these little loop structures. You'll see here and things like that. If you turn them all on, you get sort of a wide variety of layouts, so I like to have them all on, at least for now. Your kind of style of dungeon might want some or none. Actually, show you how it looks if I turn them all off. Drop the room count down, you get super simple simple dungeons. Turn that way up. Yeah, and then basically you choose your tile set, which you create kind of, like I said, using artwork and assets from your game. Let me find a kind of a cool one here. Something like, yeah, this looks neat. And then you can launch. Let me show off in the scene view here. And yeah, it builds the 3D version out of this map here on the top left. If I had other tile sets built, you'd be able to see the exact same layout in another environment, maybe like a forest or something where your walls were bushes, things like that. Yeah, this is the idea of the tool anyways. It's a little bit basic right now. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things like create multi-levels, so create hallways with stairs and have some sections of the dungeons raised or lowered. I mentioned before you can actually create specific rooms. So like I have this room here built, I'm using as a boss room. I'm going to have the game I'm building, I'm going to build a whole bunch of different bosses that will have their own boss room associated with them. So when it decides which boss it's going to generate for that level, it will place that boss room into the layout. You can create other sort of just more random landmarky rooms that show up from time to time. Maybe you have like a little pond or a little throne room you want just to kind of pop up every once in a while. You can create those and throw them in. But yeah, that's the current progress. I'm really excited. I'm going to try to release these dev updates semi-regularly just to show off how things are going. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching.